Good afternoon. Happy Saturday, Keepers of the Cash. Gary B, the Casual Comic Guy here, and it is Savage Saturday Comic Review, episode 79, coming your way right now, and we're going to get right to it. First of all, hope you guys have had a great week. Hope you're heading into an even better weekend, and can't wait to talk this story. It's so awesome. Great arc, and I've said it many times. The issues between 58 and 100 is my favorite run of Conan. I absolutely love it. Going through these again is just a pure joy. And it's great because I read a lot of them when I was young, but I didn't get to read all of them. So I get to fill in the holes, and some of these issues are new to me, and it's just nothing but pure joy. And it was just a great thing for me to be able to complete the entire run of Conan the Barbarian and Savage Sword. It was something I always had on my list through life, and I was able to do that last year. And enough about me. Let's get into the book. Alright, so first off, especially in this run, here is an absolutely spectacular cover by my favorite artistic team on Conan the Barbarian. We're talking about none other than John Buscema pencils, Ernie Chan inks, and the two complement each other so well. It is just always such a joy to see them together because their work is second to nobody's. It's incredible. And look at that. You got Thothimon in the background, Conan up front, and you got the man Medusa right there. A lot of cool stuff happening. All right, but let's get into the story. Now, when we left off last week, Zephyra had just been crowned the new king because they only allow kings in Luxor. And she took a turn for the evil. She was playing Belit, and she wanted to get her power, and then she ordered them to be executed. Conan, Belit, and Zula took off through the underground trying to evade them, and that is where we pick up our issue this week with our three heroes on the run trying to survive. We have a story by none other than Roy Thomas. We have pencils on the interior by John Buscema. We have inks by Ernie Chan. You know you're in for a treat. And we start out with a battle page right from the get-go. You have Conan, Zula, and Belit fighting their way through the Luxor guards and all the Stygians there to get to the catacombs so they can make their escape. All right, and Belit is still hell-bent on going to avenge her supposed dead father by slaying her uncle. All right, so that first page, they're cutting them down, and Belit's like, slay them all. Conan's like, not one must remain alive to sound the alarm. And him, Zula, Belit are just cutting them down to a man, and it's not long before the guards are dead. And Conan says, we're lucky there was only half a dozen or so. 3 of them and a half a dozen or so. And they cut through them like wheat in a field. Just slayed them. So they find the trap door where Belit had been before, and they descend down into the catacombs. And just when they think that they're going to get away free, another group of Stygians find them and start chasing them. But something mysterious happens. So you can see here them going down to the catacombs. They're running up here into more Stygian guards, and then the guards are halted by one hand. And when the guards see who is the owner of that hand, they back off. They rather face the king's vengeance, which is Zephyra, and they're calling her king because Luxor only allows kings, not queens. So they're just phrasing it the way they want. And the hand stays the Stygians in pursuit, and they know better than to mess with this person. So you see his sandaled feet here. You got Belit and Conan taking a moment because they haven't had time to rest to give each other a little smooch and recognition of how they're glad to be in each other's company again after so many months apart. And you got Zula talking about Conan's vow to help him get vengeance back in Keshada, the city of magicians, but Belit offers new information. She says, by the time you and your newfound friend have finished your mission there, whatever it may be, both my uncle and his wizard, Peter Nubis, will be, or Petor Nubis, will be food for the vultures. And Zula says, did you say Petor Nubis? He goes, Jula be praised, it's a small world that even the Nemedian skeptics avow. Petor Nubis is a Stygian who sold me into slavery to Shu Onoru of Keshada. So that's where he wants his first vengeance. So now they don't even have to travel to Keshada right now. They are both parties, all three of them together, are on the same course to the same people now. And once in agreement, they set off. And you see in the throne room, you see Zephyr sit in the throne, and you see none other than Conan's greatest nemesis, Thathamon, make his dramatic entrance by splintering the door and taking over the throne room with her and letting her know that it was him that set the things in motion for her to become king there and overthrow her brother, who was a weak, spineless coward. And he quickly he's very diplomatic in his speech, and he charms her, lets her know, and she goes, she asks, so what is it you desire me? He says, what should I want, sire, but power of a type I've not thus far possessed? And she says, you mean a place at court as mine? He goes, shall we say advisor? And she says, done. So that's going to be her second in command, is Thathamon. And as they're talking, and she said, the Outlander Conan once told me he had a dream, a nightmare of you. I suppose that little warning was you're doing as well. He goes, dream? No, I don't think so. And she goes, no matter, I just want him dead and his friends. And he says he's already seen to it. So we go back down to the catacombs after their conversation, and Conan's letting him take a break and sleep. He says, well, rest here while I'll stand guard. And none of them argue with him. They lay down, but there seems to be a strange spell that takes over. Belit rises and walks off in a trance by herself. Conan can't seem to wake up, and she enters a catacomb chamber that has this, oh my gosh, Medusa-headed serpent in there. And it's going to kill her, but it also tried to memorize Zula, who was immune to it because of his magic. And he's a bit of a sorcerer himself, so he was rendered immune. And he arrives just in time to push Belit out of the way and save her. And he barely dodges the attack of the Medusa. And he knows that he can't let any of the heads, the snake heads on the Medusa's head, bite him, or else it's his certain peril. But he does end up caught in the coils, and things are looking quite dire for him. Until, of course, we turn the next page. And Conan comes in, shouts out, just enough to distract the Medusa. And Zula cuts off its head and slays the beast right there. Conan picks up Belit, and they are on their way. So once Belit is revived, they're heading towards the light. And they're getting through the tunnels. I'm sorry. I got a notification. So they're just trying to get to freedom at this point. The city isn't good for them. Neither are the catacombs. They don't know when they're going to run into another group of Stygians. And Conan, Zula, and Belit are just trying to make their way out. But Conan senses something. He's like, we're being watched. And he's like, don't be silly. There's no one here but us. But up in the shadows, a big boulder is thrown down. Conan barely dodges it and lands on the ground. When he comes to his senses, he's still a bit dazed, and Belit is approaching him. There's something off about her, and she goes to attack him. Conan reacts on instinct alone, and a lot of ads back then. And as you can see here, puts a sword through Belit. But it's not Belit. It is a snake person disguised as her. And if you guys know anything about Ko, the snake people who could change form and were kind of changelings, and could adapt any form that they saw, there was a phrase that they could use called Ka Nama La Kajarama. See, I already got bit. I already messed up the phrase. But Conan is attacked by two of them. He figures since Belit was one, the Zula with her is one as well. And he defeats them both. And then all of a sudden, the real Belit and the real Zula arrive. But Conan isn't having it. He's not trusting it. And he says, unless you... He goes, oh, I'm sorry. Let me show you the page first, and then we'll get to it. So he breaks the back of the second one, and its head turns into the snake person that it is. And then Belit and Zula arrive. She goes, when we lost sight of you, we feared for your life. But what the devil are those things? What with heads of reptiles? He says, both of you, stay back. And she says, shades of a juju, have you gone mad, man? He goes, I swear I'll gut you if you come near me. Unless you first speak words to me that I learned from Red Sonny of Hyrcania years ago. Say Ka Nama Ka La Jerema. And she goes, you are mad, but Ka Nama Ka La Jerema. And Zulu repeats the words. And since neither one of them turned into a serpent, he knows it is really them. He says, good. She said, it once gave the man legend King Kull power against the snake men. And he says, when those words are whispered among them, they cannot keep their changeling form. They revert back to their true selves. And Belit's like, all right, that's all well and good. That's enough talk about that red-headed hussy, right? She's already jealous as soon as he mentions her. She calls her flame hair. And as they're making their way out, they see the crew of Black Corsairs, Belit's crew. Conan's not trusting it. And Conan's like, there's no way. It's too far inland. Your crew couldn't have found us. They had no way to know. And Conan screams out, Ka Nama Ka La Jerema. And to a man, the crew turns into the lizard people. And they have a fight on their hands. And Zula, Conan, and Belit slay them. And the rest run away. And when they emerge, they see not far that they actually emerge near the coast, and her actual Black Corsairs and her ship, the Tigris, are there at port. So they plan to hop aboard and be on their way, but not without the overshadowing of Cathaymon, suggesting further perils for our heroes. But a great issue, great pacing. The story just keeps moving along. Tension keeps building. It's one thing after another. And luckily, Conan has had some experience with it, especially with his adventures with Red Sonja. And just a great story. And for all those people who say Roy Thomas can only adapt, not write, all this is Roy Thomas original stories. It's amazing. Roy Thomas can do it all. So the story on this, A+. Obviously the interior art, the inks, both A+. The conclusion is A+ leading into the next issue, which just makes you want more right away. Overall, a spectacular issue. And let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And until next time, keep it casual. Attention all, use channel sponsor Rogue Trader at theroguetraderutah.com and my code KEEPITCASUAL for 10% off your comic cleaning and pressing needs. Remember, when submitting your books to be graded, use a trusted professional.